Hi guys, how's it going? So I'm back at the allotment today and it's another beautiful, gorgeous day. I don't know about you, but we've had just weeks of really good weather, just sunny, warm, dry here in the UK. But yeah, it's meant that we've had no rain really for a few weeks, which is really strange for the UK. So we've had to do a bit more watering, which is fine, takes a little bit more effort, but it's fine. Yeah, so today I've got a few things to do up at the allotment. I've got our garlic to harvest. Woohoo! So it's our first garlic harvest and our only garlic harvest because we've only sort of planted one lot. So I'm going to be harvesting those and then I'm going to obviously cure them, dry them, and then hopefully store them just to use over the next few months really. So that's the first thing I've got to do. The second thing is I need to plant some more cut flowers. So I've got some sort of filler flowers that I sowed a little bit later. So yeah, I've got those to plant out in our little cut flower section. And then I'm dealing with a bit of aphid issue here at the allotment and at home. So I'm going to be sort of tackling those as well. So let's have a look at the garlic. So these are our garlic. So we've got about a row and a half. So yeah, they're pretty much ready, I think. So garlic, when you harvest garlic, you sort of look for the leaves to start yellowing, which these are a little bit. They've started to sort of start yellow and sort of flopping over. So I think now is a really good time to start harvesting them. If you wait too long, what will happen is you'll this sort of outer sort of layer, the skin, I'll just show you. This sort of outer sort of papery layer, that then starts to peel off, which you don't want. You want to keep that, especially on the bulb, you want to keep that sort of outer papery layer on the bulb, so that protects the bulb when you're storing it. So I'm hoping we've kind of caught it at the right moment. So let's harvest our first one and just see what that looks like. So the way I harvest is just to sort of dig down with a trowel. Now it's quite sort of dry soil just because we haven't had any proper rainfall for weeks. I mean, I have been watering them, but so I'm just going to sort of dig around on the outside of these bulbs and then just sort of lift them out. So there we go. So that's our first clump of garlic, which looks pretty good. So let's dig up the rest. That's our garlic harvest and they're looking pretty good. So you've got some nice sized ones there. There's a few smaller ones as well. So I've just kind of cleaned them up a little bit, just kind of got rid of the soil as much as I can. Just sort of clean the bulbs up a little bit. So don't wash the garlic to clean them off, just because they want to stay as dry as possible. So what I'm going to do is take these home and I'm just going to basically dry them out. So you can either put them in the sun, which is ideal, or sort of in maybe a warm greenhouse, just somewhere dry but warm, just to sort of dry them off a little bit before you start to store them. So if you leave them to dry out for a couple of weeks and then you can store them, and then you need to store them in a sort of dry cool, dry place, and they store from anything up to 3 to 6 months, which is fantastic. So I think we've got the next few months anyway of garlic sorted. So the garlic this year that I chose was just some garlic from the supermarket, so just a supermarket that we shop at, and I just chose some really nice big garlic cloves. So I made sure that they were nice and big, and then just pop them in the ground. So we popped them in the ground last autumn. So you pop them in the ground maybe October time, and then sort of harvest them June, July the next year. And it's actually these sort of cold freezing temperatures that create those individual cloves. So if you don't have the freezing temperatures, they'll just remain a sort of solid round big bulb. So it's actually the freezing temperatures that create the actual individual cloves of garlic. So that's job number 1 done. Job number 2 is to plant some more cut flowers. So just a bit of an update. So this is our little cut flower section, or wildflower and cut flower section. So we've got 5 dwarf fruit trees sort of dotted around. They're really, really tiny still. So we decided to plant our wildflower seeds and cut flower seeds around them this year. So everything you can see is sort of wildflower seeds and cut flower seeds that I've already sown out or planted out. But yeah, a bit of an update. We've got a little bit of colour coming on. These are more the wildflower seeds that we sowed. So we've got a little bit of cosmos starting to flower. What else have we got? We've got this. Now I don't know what this is. Again, sort of a wildflower of some sort. I should really look it up. So we've got the nice purple ones, we've got the nice sort of delicate white, so they'd really go nice in a sort of flower arrangement actually, as a little filler plant. That would be really nice. What else have we got going? Yeah, so again, just different colours of cosmos. This is a little white cosmos, really, really pretty. So I have planted some other cosmos, but they are not quite ready yet. But yeah, and lots of other cut flowers as well. But today I need to plant out some more cut flowers. So the cut flowers I've got left to plant, and these are the last ones, are we've got bells of Ireland, which are these ones here. So we've got a few of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. We've got one sea holly plant, which is the only one really that germinated. So that was a little bit of a poor show with those ones. And then we've got some baby's breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I'll plant this one out because that's really still quite titchy. So yeah, those are the last cut flowers. So these are more cut flowers for sort of filler flowers. So ones that you can add in as a filler to an arrangement or a bouquet. So yeah, let's get these planted. Right, that's then planted. So I've just kind of sort of dotted them about really, just where there was some space really. So again, yeah, a few around the back. So I just dotted them around. So as I mentioned before in other videos, we're sort of taking a very sort of carefree approach to our cut flowers this year. Because we had that area where the fruit trees are, we just thought, you know what, we're just going to pack it out with wildflowers and then cut flowers and just kind of, yeah, have a bit of a jumble. We're not doing all the straight lines. Maybe next year we'll do the whole straight lines and, yeah, having each variety kind of next to, yeah, all together, and then another variety, pack of variety the next bit, and then, yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I can't wait to see these grow and just start to flower. I think it's going to be amazing. So the last thing to do today, so I don't know about you guys, but we're dealing with a bit of sort of black aphid issues at home and at the allotment on our fruit trees. So we've got a cherry tree at home that all the leaves have just started to curl because they've got aphids on, and they just kind of suck the sap out of the leaves as far as I understand, and that just makes them sort of curl up. So I've already treated that one, but I've noticed at the allotment there's some more black aphid issues going on. And it's actually on our apple tree here, so I'll just show you what I mean. So this is one of our dwarf apple trees, and just sort of, I mean, you can see by the actual leaves that there's something not right. Yeah, they're all sort of starting to curl up. So I think what we're dealing with, if I just turn one of the leaves over, you can see there, and I'm sure that they are aphids. So yeah, I think we're definitely dealing with some sort of aphid. Yeah, you can see them on that stem as well. Can you see them there? So yeah, all on the leaves, on the bottom of the leaves. Ew. So what I've got to do is treat it. So what I've decided to do this year is treat it with some sort of garlic water. Last year we did washing up liquid in water, and that worked really well. But I just didn't like the idea of like soap going into the soil and being on plants. It probably doesn't harm it, but I just don't like the idea of that. So I thought maybe using something that was a bit more natural. Yeah, and I sort of read up that actually garlic water, a solution of garlic water, is actually a really good way to get rid of aphids. So garlic has got in it sulfur and something called allicin. So it basically, the sulfur acts as a fungicide, a sort of organic fungicide, and then the allicin in it apparently tricks the sensory organs within aphids, and it sort of confuses them, and it means that they sort of think, oh, this is not what I'm here for, this is not what I want to eat, and they sort of end up going away, and I think it does end up killing them as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I read up, and that's how sort of garlic, or why garlic is actually really good. I mean, you can use it on ant infestations, slugs as well, lots of other things, whiteflies. Yeah, so I think going the organic route is definitely worth trying. I don't want to use pesticides on our allotment especially, or even in the garden if I can help it. So going organic, I'm going to try it. So yeah, we'll see how it works. So I'm just going to spray the leaves basically. I'll show you how I do it. Just sort of spray it, and I'll probably rub them off as well as I go. Right, so I've just literally covered the whole plant, all the leaves. Luckily it's only a small tree. Can you imagine if you had a huge tree and it was all infested? Oh my goodness. So yeah, the garlic solution I've used is, for this particular thing, I've used 2 cloves of garlic and about 500 mils of water, but again you can increase the amount of garlic cloves that you use or make it more or less. So all I've done is sort of pulverised it basically, and then whizzed it up in like a bit of a smoothie maker, and then sort of sieved it again, or sort of passed it through a muslin cloth just to sort of get rid of the bits. Otherwise, if you don't do that, when you put it into your spray bottle, they all get stuck and you can't spray out properly, which is what I did yesterday and learned from my mistake. So yeah, so that's the solution to aphids apparently. So I'm going to give it a go. I'll keep you updated on sort of progress. So they do advise to do it at least once a week. If you don't see it sort of nipping it in the bud, just keep doing it once a week and it should in theory get rid of it. So I'm just going to go home now, take the garlic home, and then I'm just going to put them out to dry. So I'll see you in a mo. Alright guys, so I've just come home and I've put the garlic, so I've decided to put it in the shed because it's really warm in there, it's dry. We're supposed to be getting a thunderstorm later on, so I didn't want to risk leaving them outside to then sort of get rained on. So I put them in the shed. They're going to dry out for a couple of weeks and then I can store them if I want to. So storing them in a cool, dry, so cool this time, cool, dry area. So what I'll probably do is put them in the garage and they'll be absolutely fine in there. Alright guys, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful and I'll see you in the next one.